Welcome back to Get Naked with me, Erin Plott, and my strong hand,
Dominique Thomason.
Welcome to episode 12. We're actually going to do something kind of cool. We're starting a series with this episode all about massage and mental health. And, you know, you might be like, what does one have to do with the other? A lot. It has to do with a lot. And not just our mental health.
I was going to say, but what about us?
I mean, our mental health will suffer if we can't do our jobs and pay our bills.
Yeah.
But, you know,
truth.
there is, I mean, I would say there's a lot to be said for feeling useful and doing the job and being able to help people in a way that is measurable.
Right.
But, you know, a lot of people, you know, we do get questions a good bit about, you know, just in general, some of the benefits and things that come about because of massage, more often than not in interviews than I think really from patients, because people have Google, so they can kind of Google that. But, you know, it's definitely something that I've struggled with before, with just anxiety and stress. I think that's something that almost everybody can relate to. I know, I mean, like, you've got 97 jobs outside of this. So, you know,
stay busy.
You don't know what stress is. You know, you don't know about anxiety and deadlines, but, you know, it can be a lot more than that. It doesn't necessarily have to be job-related stress or, you know, job-related anxiety. It can be, you know, a diagnosed thing. I always hate to say, like, mental disorder.
Yeah.
Because then that kind of sounds like there's something wrong with you or a mental dysfunction or an illness. Like, it's wrong. But it's not. It's just the way that your brain does things, you know, and it's a little different from everything else. And sometimes medication can help, especially if it's on the more severe side of things. But sometimes something as simple as a massage or going outside or, you know, just getting yourself out of the environment that is causing that stress or causing that anxiety can be huge.
Gotta go. No, I'm just kidding.
So we're done here.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Peace out. You know, and that is something, like, things like this do cause some people a lot of anxiety. Obviously not us, but I think we're a little weird anyway. So when you look at that whole, like, you know, dysfunction line, like, here's most people, and then here's Erin and Dominique.
Listen,
it's fine.
We're fine.
It's totally okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are definitely some benefits that come directly from massages with, you know, especially on, like, stress and your brain chemistry, because I think a lot of people don't recognize the chemical reaction that happens. And no, I'm not being pervy, you weirdos, like, ew. But, you know, just hormones that are produced, like, you know, your endocrine system and everything, like, it's producing a lot of different things. And, you know, when you are under stress, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, you know, whatever stress happens to be, it enacts in your body in really specific ways. Some of that's muscle tension. Some of that is the production of corticosteroids that just dump into your system and just wreak havoc, you know, on multiple systems. It's not just muscular, you know. And so when we're doing what we do, you know, this dog and pony show that we call massage therapy, you know, it's producing a lot. It's producing a lot of really good hormones, especially if it's a situation where you feel safe and you feel heard. But you're producing a lot of dopamine and serotonin and all these things that kind of counteract and battle those corticosteroids and, you know, the feel-good hormones, you know, and you get them too, not just from that touch, but from the anticipation of it. Like, you know, I don't know anybody who's like, oh, damn it, I have to go get a massage. Yeah. You know, like, even the ones that are like, she's going to hurt me. Yeah. But they still look forward to it. It's still something, you know.
And I think we've talked about this before too, where it's like sometimes coming here is the only touch that someone may receive.
100%.
And so, like, this is a positive touch.
Hopefully.
It's not, I mean, here it's positive, but like not every place you go, but it's definitely something like, like you look forward to. So it's like knowing like, oh, I'm going to go, I'm going to be able to relax. I'm going to be able to like shut my brain off. You know, that can be something chemical too in your brain.
Do you think people are able to shut their brains off?
I can't.
I don't ever. Whenever I'm getting a massage, I'm all over the place.
I'm like, did I see about that chicken?
That's why I talk through a lot of it. And I'm usually it's Dominique working on me, and I'm trying really hard not to cuss really loud because I am guilty of not doing this as much as I should. Which I think a lot of us, I say honestly, and it's not just in the massage profession. I think, especially women in general, we tend to put ourselves on a back burner. We tend to almost feel guilty in a way for like self-care,
taking care of ourselves,
for self-care, and that's bullshit. I'm saying it right here, right now. I actually told a client the other day, I looked her straight in the face. I was like, well, that's bullshit. Yeah. And she was just like, oh, and I was like, no.
Oh my.
Yeah, clutching pearls. Yeah. But I was like, no, you have a family, you have children, you have, all these responsibilities and things that you have to take care of, right? And that are placed firmly on your shoulders, whether you have a great partner who helps out and everything or not. Yeah. It's still society kind of expects you to do it, right? And in your situation where it's dogs, not kids, but still you have to work, you have to contribute to your household. You're the one who's cleaning and doing the yard and doing all the things, you still have to do the things, right? And I think that there's just been this whole stigma coming back from like generations ago where, it's like, toughen up, bitch. Yeah. Like, you signed up for this rodeo, and it's not okay for us to say we're not okay and that we need help. Right. Which, again, bullshit. Yeah. If I haven't said it clearly enough before, in no uncertain terms, and it's not something that I am happy about or proud of, but like I've done that before where I'm like, it's all on me. I can't, I can't ask for help. I can't say these things, especially when you're in a situation where you feel like there is no control. And so you try to over control. Yeah. I went through that when my dad passed away because it was sudden. It was unexpected. It was not something where we had time to prepare. Right. Like Mom, I kind of had time to prepare for that. She had lung cancer. It was kind of, there was a time frame kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas Dad, it was just like, boom, done. And I mean, it took about a week, which sucked. But
still.
Coming out of that, it was literally because I was 6 months off my divorce on top of that. So it was literally
all stressors.
It's just me, and there isn't anybody else to do it but you. Yeah. And I felt like there was no help. There was no anything. And I mean, for a minute there, I was really struggling. Like, I severely depressed, a lot of anxiety about like just the future, but also that paralyzing, I don't know what to do. I need an adult. I need an adultier adult, you know? And when my dad passed away, my mom found out that she had cancer like right after that. Yeah. Right after that. So I felt like I couldn't go to my mom. She's already so stressed and there's, and I have to help take care of her because that's what you do, Right. And so that was something, I mean, like when you hear the term, like I felt like I was sinking and that I couldn't, like, have you ever seen, of course you've seen The Squirrel in the Road?
Of course.
Where he gets out there and he's like, oh, happy little squirrel. And then he sees the car coming and it's like, oh shit. And the squirrel stops and he's paralyzed and he's stuck. And then all of a sudden he starts going side. And he can't figure out. And then he gets hit by the damn truck. And if he had just made a decision, he could go, but he can't. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people experience when they're in that moment of like either really high stress or even just that anxiety, and when it comes to your physical health, there's so much being thrown at us all the time. You have to be holistic. Oh no, you have to take these drugs. Oh no, you have to see this specialist, but it's going to take 6 months to get in to see them. Like it's so frustrating and paralyzing all at the same time because it's almost like there's too many options. Too many things. And bring it back to what we do. I think that's part of where massage can come in and kind of just give you that bridge between things and kind of say like, hey, look, here's a space where there's no judgment. There's no anything. You can come in, you can bliss out, or you can get a beat down, whatever you need, you know, I mean, like whatever you need,
whatever you prefer,
however you like it, you know, but there's that bridge where it's just a safe space where, I don't know, like almost just a calm in the storm, you know?
And I think too, like, you know, for me, if I become like, you know, overwhelmed and all of the things, I tend to push people away because I'm like, well, I don't want my problems to be their problems.
Right.
But then it's like you talk to someone like randomly off the street and it's like word vomit.
Right.
So it's kind of similar when people come in here. It's like, I don't know this person. I'm going to tell them all my problems.
Right. I can tell them everything and it's okay because they don't know me.
They don't know me.
And
I don't have to see them
again.
I
don't ever have to come back. You know, we want y'all to come back. Like, don't not come back, you know.
Yeah.
But, and God, you've seen it as much as I have when they get off and they're just lighter. And you can tell that they're like a little embarrassed that they did that whole word vomit thing.
Right.
They're just like, I'm really sorry that and you're like, no, not at all. Like, I mean, anytime, you know.
Anytime.
And I've given clients my cell phone number.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you need anything.
Yeah.
Even if it's just I have a pretend question just so I can talk to somebody, you know, like just call me, you know, text me, do something, you know.
And then it's hard too because it's like, you know, you're trying not to cross over those boundaries and like have issues, but it's also you don't want that person to feel alone or that they don't have someone that they could.
Precisely.
You know.
Let's talk about those boundaries for 1 second because I don't think the general public has any idea that we have ethical restrictions and ethical boundaries that we are not allowed to cross. Like we've talked about before, we're not allowed to diagnose your shit. Can't do that. You can't come in and be like, I got this. What is it? You guys see a doctor. Like that's
we probably know, but we don't know.
Probably know, but I'm not really allowed to tell you because if it turns out to be wrong, like you could sue me.
Right.
But that's not my job. I am not somebody who's
a doctor
able to do that. Right. You know, and even if I was like, you know, a physical therapist, they're still working off of a diagnosis from another doctor, doctory or doctor, if that's, you know, not even that, because PTs are awesome and I love them and they, you know, do a ton of education and schooling too. Yeah. But you aren't necessarily going to a PT and being like, I've got this going on and them diagnosing it. That's not typically how that works. Not that you can't. But generally you're going because
it was a referral.
You were sent there, you know, by a doctor that has you going for a very specific reason.
Yeah. For a specific length of time.
You know, and they are able to sort of diagnose within their realm of, okay, this is what they sent you here for. Let's run these tests and do these things to see where you're at. And so that's sort of in a way a diagnostic, but you know, we are not allowed to do that, you know, and we can refer to a doctor, we can refer to a specialist, but we cannot do that. Another thing we're not supposed to do is get into the therapy realm, you know, because we're not counselors, you know, we're not psychiatrists, we're not psychologists, we are not licensed counselors in most cases. I know a couple massage therapists who have done that. They've gotten those types of certifications and they kind of roll with it and it's great, you know, but technically I'm not supposed to give you advice. I'm not supposed to do that.
We're here to listen.
Yep. I'm here to listen. I mean, I can tell you about some of my life experiences and kind of be like, hey, this is something I did that worked for me. And then leave it at that. I can't be like, I think you should you know. But we do get a lot of, you know, people who are coming in and they hold so much. Your body holds so much. Your brain is so stinking powerful. And it causes a myriad of different things. Like your brain can cause, like, you know, depression can cause pain. It can cause physical symptoms. You know, it's a mental thing, but it can cause physical symptoms. You know, fibromyalgia. No one knows what it is. But, you know, it's typically based off of a lot of autoimmune situations, you know, and it causes a lot of physical conditions that can cause a lot of mental stuff, depression, anxiety, stress, etc. You know, so those types of things, when we get people who come in and they don't necessarily have a formal diagnosis, but they're telling us about it, that helps us do our job. You know, it's not us diagnosing, it's not us saying these things, but we have a really fine line that we have to walk, you know, and so sometimes that line can be really blurry, you know, and that's kind of scary for us because, like, I've had patients leave before that I'm kind of like, should I have said that? Should I have handled that way, you know, and
or
you
they
know,
confide in you, and then it's like, well, I kind of have, like, I can't,
you know,
like, follow through.
It's kind of like the whole hug at the end. Some people are like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
And they're so happy and they feel so good. And they're just like, I want to hug you. And you're like, okay. You know, and all in your head, you're like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Is this legal?
Right.
They're not naked, so it's legal.
That's right.
But, you know, some massage therapists will straight up tell you, like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hug. It's too close, you know, and then some are like, bring it on in, you know.
Come on, homie.
Yeah, you know, some massage therapists don't mind if people hit a vape in their room while they're in session, you know, or if they come in and they've, you know, in states where this is a legal situation, obviously, because nobody does that here, ever.
What?
No, never. Nobody comes in like that, you know. But I mean, you got to look at it.
What are you even talking about?
You have to look at it from two different ways because it's, in my mind, it's on par with somebody taking a muscle relaxer before they come in, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, I can smell it on you. But I'm not going to ask any questions because you do you know, and that's part of the whole thing. But I still kind of have to, like, keep it in mind because if you fall out and I got to call 911, I got to be like, so I think maybe this might be in their system. I don't know.
I don't know, but just in case.
So in our intakes, you know, because people, oh golly, my intake is 5 pages long, and that sounds super in depth and everything, but it needs to be for that precise reason. If something happens to a client while they're here, they have a heart attack, they, you know, pass out, they, you know, whatever, we have to be able to tell the paramedics and things history. Like, this is what I know of that's going on. This is what I know that they are taking, you know. And so we ask you, you know, to periodically update those things. And, you know, people get really nervous about putting that they're on personal like antidepressants or they're on something like that because they think that there's going to be that stigma and that judgment or that you look fine.
Yeah.
You look fine. What's your problem? Yeah. You have a great life. What are you stressed about? I swear to God, I will punch the next person in the throat that says that to me. Don't do it. Scott's over there like, I can see him like, ha, 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 ha. Later. You know, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, my pretty. But that's the thing is like, that happens all the time, especially when I'm like super stressed about stuff and I'm wanting to like pull my hair out because I'm wrestling with something or, you know, I'm having an interpersonal situation or whatever, and I just can't, you know, and people will be like, girl, you're fine. Like, you've got such a great life. You have so much to be grateful for. And I'm like, I will.
Yeah. And everyone handles it differently. Right. So, like, telling someone, like, oh, you'll be okay.
Minimizing their shit.
Yeah. It's like, yes, I know. I will eventually be okay. But right now, I'm not okay. No. And I need you to not tell me that I'm okay right now. Right. Like, I'm not okay. Right. So God
won't give you more than you can handle.
Like, okay.
Well, God thinks I can handle a whole fucking lot because I'm having a moment.
Yeah. Well, he's really pushing the limits this time.
My underwear's about to snap and I'm going to show my ass. That's going to happen. You know, like that's a thing, you know, and I feel like sometimes people come in and they're kind of at that point, you know, and this is somewhere where, you know, you can talk or not talk, you know, but you can at least take a breath and exhale and just be, you know, and I think there are so few places in this world that you can just
do that.
Be. Yeah. You know, unless, of course, you're outside somewhere where, like, no one else is.
Yeah. And I think you need to find what that is for you.
100%.
Specifically.
100%.
Like, you know, for me, music is kind of my escape. Mm-hmm. It can make you happy. I mean, it fits your emotions. Mm-hmm. So if you want to rage, put on, you know, that rage music.
Put your grandma on the microwave music. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. And then there's a place in West Columbia that does the smash ring. So, like, that's a great... option. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably one of the best hours of my life.
Really?
Just smashing
just
shit.
Just going and breaking shit.
And it's funny because it popped up in my memories this morning. I was like, damn, I'm going to go do that.
I love it. You know what popped up in my memories this morning? Going to Alaska. Oh. Today was the day we went to Alaska a year ago.
Fun.
And everybody's like, oh, yeah, sounds awesome. That flight.
Awful.
Going was not as bad as coming home.
Yeah.
Coming home, oh my God.
Because you're flying back into
right,
the time.
But we're also in Vancouver and then going to Toronto overnight, like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., which I don't recommend doing. And then Toronto to D.C. and then D.C. to Columbia. I was awake for 24 hours. And I'm pretty sure that my cortisol levels were off the charts.
Yeah.
I thought Eric was going to kill me at one point. Like, literally in an airport, I thought he was just going to be, like, done.
Yeah.
And instead, he left. And he came back with coffee.
He went and found his happy place.
He came back with coffee.
Which was away from
that
you.
man loves me. He left so as not to kill me and then came back with the one thing he knew was going to make me
calm
bearable
you down a little
for
bit.
at least the next 7 hours.
Yeah. And I think traveling too, like that is such a stressor because flights get delayed or they get canceled and then it's
the
like
seats are this big.
Yeah, and you're squished in and you're trying to be, accommodating
polite
for the people next to you, and it's hard.
And they're usually not trying to do the same.
No, the flight back from San Diego, we flew from San Diego to Dallas, and that was all messed up. So I was like high stress because in my head I was like, oh my God, are my bags gonna make it? Like
right. Yeah, because that was a deviation, right?
Yeah. So we were supposed to go to Dallas, but then because we got stuck in San Diego, it was just like we missed the connection.
Gotcha.
So technically,
you went to Dallas just late.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, that's fine. But then on the flight from Dallas to Charleston, the girl next to me, like I don't know if it was her first time flying, but she was like so just animated, and then she like elbowed me and I was just like, oh God, like I can't get any smaller. And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's fine, ma'am. And then she like turned and she must have like the hearing, or not hearing, but like the ears popping.
Right.
So she like tried to hand me gum, but instead threw the whole pack at me. Nice. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, ma'am, it's okay. Just keep your hands to yourself.
Just stop trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm literally like this.
You're going to hurt me.
Trying, just like, get me home.
So coming back from Alaska, Vancouver to Toronto, I'm in the middle seat, which is hell on earth anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's
well,
really
that's what happened when we missed our flight. Was I got stuck in the middle. Yeah. So I was just like,
oh, it's terrible. At least I had Eric and Addie.
Right.
I know these people.
You know those
I made
two.
one of them.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with it. But like he promptly falls asleep. If that man stops moving, he falls asleep. Like I'm so jealous. And he's not just like sort of asleep. He's like, you know, I mean, he's out.
Splayed out.
And then Addison is, by the window and she's trying to get comfortable. And this is like the second time this kid's flown in her whole life, and I'm so proud because she's doing great.
Yeah.
But she can't get comfortable. And it's like overnight. And I'm like, she has to sleep. She has to sleep. So I pull up the armrest and I'm like, come here. And so she's splayed across me. He's snoring. I'm like sitting there. And I've got some dude's knee in my back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is what hell is like. This is exactly what it is. And I'm trying to mitigate it and calm myself down a little. I've got your plugs in, but they're the ones that hook in. So all you hear is the drone of the plane. I'm trying to listen to like Planet Earth, David Attenborough. I'm like, calm me down, man. Let's talk about whale migration.
Right.
This is great. Like let's watch some emperor penguins give each other rocks for sex. It's cool. Like whatever it is. I need serenity.
Yeah.
And all I could hear is the plane. And I'm like, this is terrible. And it was like it was long. It was like a 7-hour flight or okay, it wasn't. It was like 4 hours because you jumped time zones.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was a really, really long time.
Real long.
And I got we were getting up from this thing and I was in like rage.
Yeah.
And it was totally irrational rage. Like, I wasn't mad at anything specific. I was mad at that fucking light switch, or I was mad at that damn, whatever it was. I was just pissed to the nth degree of pistivity. Yeah. And Eric's just like fresh and happy. He slept the whole way. He's just like, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I can hate you. I hate you right now.
Yeah.
And we're going through customs in Toronto so that we don't have to do it in DC.
Yeah.
The meanest woman in the whole wide world. I thought Canada was full of really nice people, first off. The meanest woman I have ever seen in my entire life was like running the
conveyor.
What's the belt thing? Yeah, the conveyor belt. So she is screaming at people, and I'm just like,
no,
oh, I'm about to get sent to the airport security
that
because
back
of this
room.
bitch. If she screams at me, I'm gonna snap.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna lose it, you know. And Addison's like, "What's wrong with that woman?" And I'm like, "Just take off all your stuff and give it to her." Like, just I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, God, it was just. And thankfully we got through it. And then Eric wants to ask a question. And I'm like, shut up. Like, just go. And she's screaming at him. And he's like, look, you don't need to. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to end up in the back room. And yeah, we didn't. He didn't have to get strip searched or anything. But he had a few words for her. And she didn't like it. And then he just said, fine. And moved on. And I'm just like, but
it's not me, it's you.
Irrational rage is something that I felt like if there had been massage people in the airport,
yeah.
I would have maybe gotten through that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But no.
They had, it was like a chiropractic adjustments in the airport. And I was just like, I feel like that could be very dangerous just because you're seeing how many people a day. You don't know my history.
My chiropractor won't adjust you unless he's got x-rays.
X-rays, yeah. So I was just like, that feels like something I would never do.
I don't think that's good. Can you see somebody being like, I need a y-axis, just yank it and just internal decapitation.
Yeah, it's like I can't relax.
I wouldn't be able to.
No.
That would stress me out.
And I'd be like, how many people have touched this?
Ew,
we're in the airport.
No, that's a whole nother level of no thanks.
That's the shit that stresses me out. It's like
germs. I'm over here like 5-second rule, and Dominique's like, don't touch anything.
Nobody touch anything.
You don't know what happened in here. So how are you in hotels? Like, do you bring your own sheets and do all that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it's like a nasty hotel,
don't take
then
a black light ever. Just don't do it.
No. It's just like, you know, airports, they don't really get cleaned. I mean, like hotel rooms, at least when you check out.
I've seen the guy at midnight on the airport in the Zamboni thing. Like,
yeah, but they're not wiping stuff down that you touch. Like, you're walking on a floor and they're Zamboning it. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
at least that wax on there is clean.
That's nice. That's nice.
That was when we got to the San Diego airport. I looked at my friend Michelle and I was like, when was the last time you think this stuff got cleaned? The seats were like sticky. And I was just like, I'm just going to stand. We're going to be sitting for a while.
Toronto, I was like, I'm going to go to sleep on the floor. Like, I didn't even care. I was so tired at that point. Like, I was like seeing little creatures and everything. And that was when I snapped and Eric had to go get me coffee because it was a thing. I was going to lay on the floor and sleep. I didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
Until I saw the floor. And then I was like,
the crummies and
yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, it looked shiny, but it was carpet. I was just like, and there was like all kinds of debris everywhere. I'm just like, Canada, you need to do better. And this was a part of the airport too. So like, there's the main part, and then you go down this really long hallway that goes like downhill, and that's where we were. It was away from everything, and I was just like, obviously they haven't gotten here yet to straighten it up.
Hopefully up there's a much cleaner.
Do a little Martha Stewarding in here or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. But I mean, that's, you know, people will be like, you're so blessed you get to travel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's true. Yeah, I do.
Sometimes vacation is what somebody needs to not snap.
Right. Sometimes you need vacation from vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like when you, I feel like time zone switching, it's hard to come back and not feel like.
Well, not only that, but I don't think anybody ever really discusses the whole like vacation mental letdown situation where like you have such high hopes for your vacation and you go and it's great and it's fun, but it's definitely never what you kind of like had this expectation for it to be.
Yeah.
And then you get home and it's like all the shit you left is just piled up waiting for you.
There.
And you're like,
it's a drop.
Yeah. It is. There's just like, I mean, you just come in and you're like, crunch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody needs to have like a couple days on the back end just to like decompress.
See, I tried to do that. And then American Airlines said, oh, fuck you.
Right. American Airlines was just like, hold my beer.
Oh, you want to get home?
Oh, that's,
no.
You're going to decompress? Don't think so.
That's
beep,
right.
boop, beep, boop.
Oh, man. And then,
delayed.
Like, to add on top of that, because we were in Texas, I was like, Texas barbecue. Gave me the shits. So that was great.
That's
phenomenal.
And
then the card that I used.
Did they have dairy in their barbecue?
No. It didn't happen until like after I got home. My stomach was just like, and it was really late.
Well, at least it wasn't on the plane.
Right. So I was like, I'll take it. At least I'm home. But then the next day, like after I had gotten home, the card that I had used, the only time I had used it the entire time, I used it to buy that dinner, and someone stole the credit card number. Oh, so I was like, that's great. So that was like another added stress. And I was like, well, at least it's a credit card and not my debit card.
So
like,
here's a question. Have you scheduled a massage?
You know, I haven't. And every time I look, I'm like, I need to get on someone's schedule. But it's also so hard because it's like, you're busy. Everyone else is busy.
Right.
And...
Oh, no. And I think that's people look at me all the time and they're like, well, you have like 3 other people in your office. How come you don't get massages more often? And I'm like, what, 9 o'clock at night? Like, when am I doing this? I don't understand. Well, you're off on such and such day. Yes, because I have things I have to do on those days. Like, it's not just like, I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out in the pool. Doing whatever. No.
But sometimes, too, it's like, oh, you look and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And it's like, okay, everyone's booked. And then I'm booked. So
and nobody wants to get a massage and go back to work.
Yeah.
Like, especially not us. I figure, like, most people don't want to do that. That's always, like, blown my mind whole where, like, people come in and be like, I got to go back to work now. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How? After you came and, like, face planted for an hour and a half, you know, I mean, I can understand chair massages at work.
Right.
You don't get out of the work mode, you know, but like, man, you came and got naked and like did like you blissed out,
massage,
like you
hair
relaxed, like you got your shit, you left your face on my face cradle, like all of that, like, and you're going back to work. I hated that in massage school because they would do, you know, obviously you're learning and all the things. So they'd have it to where, okay, you do an hour where like you work on this person and then you flip and they work on you. And it was always like, oh,
who wants to go first?
I don't want to go, like, you know, I want to massage first so that I get the massage second, you know, and like nobody ever wanted to be the person on the table first. And so we ended up having to like draw numbers and all kinds of shit because people weren't wanting to do it. And I can't. Like, I literally block out time because you know me, I won't do anything less than 90 minutes anyway. And usually I'm like, just go as long as you need to until you're done. And I'll pay you. Like, whatever. 3 hours, 5 hours, it's fine.
Fix it.
Just fix it.
Yeah.
Don't make me cry. She always makes me cry. She's such a bitch. But it's hard.
like, oh my God.
So hard to do because I'm like, oh, she has an hour.
Yeah.
She has it, you know, and then I'm like, but I
just
don't want
enough time.
Like, I got stuff to do and I don't want to do anything afterwards.
I remember when
I'm so bougie when it comes to massages. Like, it's my own damn fault. Like,
I booked that 90 minutes that one time, and it was the therapist that we had for a while.
Oh, yes,
and she was like, oh, your body's telling me that you're done. I was like, how much time has it been? And she was like, 55 minutes. I was like, oh no, ma'am. She ain't telling you it's
not
done.
even close to done.
I was like, I'm telling you right now. I was like, actually, you know what? We are done. Thank you so much.
So that mind-body connection was not, it was not. No.
My mind was right where it needed to be.
Like, no, my body is not telling you that. I'm so sorry. You are getting a mixed signal. Let me fix that. Tweak.
Yeah. And I was just like, what?
It's like, plot twist. You're done. No, I'm not.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I booked 90 minutes. That did not feel like
not leaving. No,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, actually, you know what? Yeah, we're done. I don't want this anymore.
Have you ever actually done that to anybody else though? Like any other therapist? No. Have you ever just been like, we're done here. I gotta go. No. I have. Oh my God. Did I ever tell you about the lady? Okay. So you know about Reiki. Mm-hmm. Reiki is energy work, mm-hmm. and it is well out of my realm of tolerance because we won't go there today. But Reiki is something that, like, you know, they don't really touch you a lot. They may a little bit, but like you're fully clothed in most instances, under a blanket or not. There's music playing, or in this case, whale sounds. Whale songs. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm laying on this table on top of the blankets, freezing my ass off because I'm just wearing like a t-shirt and shorts, right?
Yeah.
And she's like hovering her hands over me and doing her like spiritual cleansing, whatever it is, you know, she's not touching me at all. Yeah. And I'm listening to these whale songs, trying so hard not to laugh that I'm about to wet my pants. Of course. Like I'm so like, you know, and it was the most unrelaxing thing I think that I've ever gone through, and it ruined it for me forever.
And you're like, I'm good. I don't need to do that again.
And like about halfway through, I was like, we're done. We're done. I can't do this. you know, I really appreciate your time. I'll pay you for the full session. Like your time's valuable, but this is absolute crap. And I'm not saying that Reiki is absolute crap. I'm saying that session was absolute crap. And she was sort of a beginner, you know. So I mean, I get it, and I wasn't mean to her. Before you guys get upset, I wasn't mean to her. I was just kind of like, this isn't working for me in terms of like, I'm not relaxing. I'm not like, it's nothing you're doing. It's just not working for me. Yeah. And I appreciate your time, and I did pay her, and I did tip her, and I told her that like she has a great future in Reiki. Apparently, I'm a good actress. I don't know.
I think it was when I first moved to Columbia. I was like, I'll just pull, you know, Groupon, whatever, get my bearings, kind of like massage places. Right. And I went, and it was definitely someone who was new to the massage world. And she had long hair, but she wouldn't put it back. So I kept feeling it like on my back. Yeah. And that stressed me out, where I was just like,
like, stop it.
I don't like it. And then when I was face up, that's all I could think about was like, her hair is going to touch me.
Right, it's going to touch my face, or I'm going to inhale it or something like that.
No, she had a delightful lunch that I got to smell because she burped and just was like,
oh, nice.
And I was just like, it's like, no ma'am.
Oh, so breath mints are necessary.
Yeah, that was probably... Instances. It was like an hour, because that was, you know, I was like, whatever, an hour. But that was probably the longest hour of my life, because I was just like,
right. So see, even though we try to integrate massage into our mental health care and our self-care routines, it does not always go the way that you plan for it to, you know.
And I think having that open communication of not being afraid to tell someone like, oh, I don't like what you're doing, so we can adjust, so that you leave here feeling better, relaxed, versus like,
well, it's like going to a restaurant and like you get your order and it's not right, but you don't say anything, and then you go online and you leave a shitty review, and it's like, you've got to tell me, and I tell people this at the beginning of my sessions, and I say it like this, and I don't mean for it to be funny, but people always like laugh. Yeah. And I'm like, but no, I'm serious. And I always tell people, like, if there's something that you need adjusted or that you don't like, or, you know, pressure's too much or too little or whatever, I was like, please speak up and tell me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't have any anymore. And I say that, see, you laugh. And I say that
because I know it's true.
Right. But I say that not like I don't have feelings as a human being. I say that as I am so far in my career at this point, you are not going to hurt my feelings career-wise, like professionally, you're not going to hurt my feelings by saying, can you use a little more pressure?
You're not going to lie awake at night.
Right. I'm not going to be like, this bitch, you know, like I'm not, that's not going to happen. And, you know, like, and I say it that way specifically because it's a lighthearted way to do it without being like super like, you know, but I want people to feel comfortable to, you know, speaking up and saying that. Because the last thing I want is for you to leave having come in and made yourself vulnerable in a way, and made yourself, you know, like open to it, especially my first timers. Bless their hearts. I love newbies. Yeah. You're a massage virgin, come in. I love it. It is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Yeah. And almost, it's right up there. My next favorite thing in the whole wide world are people who come in and they've had like a shitty experience before. I love that. I love turning that around and making it. I'm like, ooh, hold my beer, because I'm about to make this the best day of your life, And it's something that, like, when you're passionate about what you do and you want to share it with people, like, that's what gets me that endorphin high. Like, it's not running. Trust me, it's not running. And it's not like, working out or creating art, because I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. It's doing what I do and having people come out of that and be like, you made a difference in my day, or you made a difference in how I feel, in whatever way that is, and that, I get high on life because of that.
I get high on life.
Is
that legal here?
High on life? Absolutely. Pretty sure that's okay. Snorting a line off somebody's back, not okay.
Oh my God.
That is not the kind of high on life
that took
you
a turn
need to
I was not expecting.
Honey, we're always going to take a turn that we're not expecting. Oh, bless your heart.
Oh, bless your heart.
Bless your heart. So if you like us, and we're helping your mental health by, like, giving you a little giggle here and there during your day. I've actually had people tell me,
That's me giggling.
They're like, I can't listen to you when I'm at work. Like, I can't listen to your podcast and everything, because they usually have like AirPods in or something. And they're like, I just start laughing out loud. People are all like,
these bitches are crazy.
So, these bitches are crazy. I mean,
but, you
caught us.
Owning it.
Call it like I see it. But no, if you enjoy what we do and we give you a good little mental break there, then definitely like us. Smash that button. People say that all the time. They're like, smash the like button. And I'm like, oh, Hulk smash.
Little reaction.
Yeah. Like us. Share us. Talk to us. Comment. Leave a little comment.
Little comment.
Little talky talk.
Yeah. I feel like no one's really done that, because we were like, hey, if you put hamsters in your butt, reach out. And then everyone's like, absolutely not.
I am definitely not saying anything, because everyone's going to think that Marcus S. puts hamsters in his butt.
He's like, I just want to know where y'all located.
Right? Where you at, boo?
It's like, hamsters for sure.
It's definitely, we haven't really gotten anybody talking about that. Yeah. We got a few people asking questions, like on Facebook and things like
questions.
That. But I've had random people anonymously text me, and I'm like, you're not anonymous. You're saved in my phone. Like, that's not. If I know you at all, if you've ever called me or texted me, you're saved in my phone. Like, that's a thing. That's just happened. So you're not anonymous. Just FYI.
Okay.
Don't send pictures. You're not anonymous.
Yeah.
But you can like us, you can follow us, you can share us from Facebook, obviously. YouTube, if you want the visuals, because we're really good with, like,
looking.
Yeah. Oh. Facial expressions. Oh, wait. Good looking. Oh, I see what you did there. I'm not bright today. No, right over the head,
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm over here like, I've got these great facial expressions and hand things. Like, I'm really dynamic on camera. I don't know how this translates. Like, on the other, what is it? Spotify and
iTunes.
iTunes, yes.
You never remember iTunes, and you're an Apple user.
I know. I don't use iTunes, though.
Now it's actually called Apple Podcasts.
Oh, see? And that's a whole different thing.
Apple
now
Podcasts.
I'm going to have to remember.
Sorry, everybody.
This is some shit. Now I'm going to have to remember that. All right, so Apple Podcasts.
Well, you don't remember iTunes anyway.
Right. So. I know.
Spotify.
I always think iHeart, because I listen, and so that's something I always think of. Yeah. We're not on that, so don't go there. Yeah. So YouTube, Facebook,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Nailed it. Look at that.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Strong hand. She's always got my back, y'all.
That's right.
That's the new tagline. Massage mechanics. We've always got your back. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And we're not even on drugs.
That's right.
Like,
yeah. And you can always check us out on our website.
Yes. www.massagemechanicsSC.com. Make sure you make mechanics plural. And then put the SC on there. People are always like, massage mechanic? Nope, not just one of us. There's lots of us.
Massage mechanics.
Yes. Mechanics. And then let's see, whatever. Instagram. Yep, we're on Instagram too, at Massage Mechanics SC, or
the best, Dee Dee Pookie.
I love it
every time.
Giggles. I do. I always giggle because I think of like a like cuddly little teddy bear, but like one of those ones that you squeeze them and then they're like
the rage.
You know, and and they've got like the teeth and the scary, and I love it, and I'm like, oh, that's my Dom. That's my little Dominique.
It's me.
Yay!
Awesome.
Oh, I love it. All right, so first in the series, anxiety, stress, things like that. Next go round, we're going to be talking a little bit more about like depression and the physical aspects of that. If you have any type of questions about, your mental health and how massage can help that, or any experiences you've had, I think we're going to bring in maybe a guest or two over this series. So definitely stay tuned. And we'll see you for Lucky 13.
Ooh, 13.
Getting naked for Lucky 13.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
Not it.
Not it. It's Scott. Scott's like, all right, I'll wear my Speedo. Whatever.
Yes.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, you guys have an awesome week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.